Have you ever felt like you're just drifting through life, reacting to things instead of taking control? What if I told you there's a timeless guide to mastering your own mind and destiny? Written by one of the greatest swordsmen who ever lived. I'm talking about Miyamoto Musashi, the undefeated samurai, a legend whose wisdom is as sharp today as his blades were centuries ago. Just before his passing, Musashi penned Dakodo, which translates to the way of walking alone. It's not about loneliness, it's about self-reliance, discipline, and forging your own path. This guide contains 21 powerful principles, and over the next few videos, we're going to dive deep into them. Today, we'll start with the first 5, the foundational pillars of Musashi's philosophy. Stick with me, because understanding these can genuinely change the way you see the world and your place in it. So, let's get right into it. The very first principle of the Dakodo: accept everything just the way it is. Now, this might sound simple, almost passive, but it's one of the most powerful mindset shifts you can make. Think about how much energy we waste resisting reality. We get angry when it rains on our plans, frustrated when traffic is bad, or disappointed when things don't go our way. Musashi is telling us to stop fighting what we can't control. Acceptance isn't about giving up, it's the opposite. It's about seeing the situation with total clarity, without the distortion of our own desires or fears. When you accept that it's raining, you don't stand outside getting soaked and complaining. You grab an umbrella and figure out your next move. By accepting reality, you free up your mental and emotional energy to focus on what you can do, to act effectively and strategically. It's about being a realist, not a pessimist. This is the foundation of true strength, seeing the world as it is, not as you wish it were. This leads us perfectly into Musashi's second principle: do not seek pleasure for its own sake. In our modern world, we are bombarded with a million ways to chase instant gratification. From endless social media scrolling to binge-watching shows, it's easy to get trapped in a cycle of seeking a quick dopamine hit. Musashi warns against this. He's not saying you can't enjoy life, but he's pointing out a critical distinction. Seeking pleasure for its own sake often leads to empty, fleeting happiness and can even spiral into unhealthy habits and addictions. It's a hollow pursuit. Instead, Musashi encourages us to find satisfaction and joy as a byproduct of meaningful actions. The pleasure you feel after a hard workout, the satisfaction of completing a difficult project, the joy of building a genuine connection with someone, these are earned. They are fulfilling and build character. Chasing pleasure leads to a life of distraction and weakness. Finding joy in purpose leads to a life of strength and fulfillment. The third principle, a bit more challenging for many of us: do not, under any circumstances, depend on a partial feeling. How often do we make big decisions based on a fleeting emotion? We get a sudden burst of inspiration and commit to a huge project, or a wave of doubt makes us quit something we've worked hard on. Musashi saw this as a path to chaos. A partial feeling is an incomplete picture. It's a gut reaction without the full context of logic and reason. Acting on these whims makes us unreliable, not just to others, but to ourselves. The key is to wait. Let the initial emotion pass. Step back, observe the situation from all angles, and engage your rational mind. True wisdom comes from integrating your feelings with clear-headed thinking. Don't let a momentary impulse steer your entire life ship. Be the captain who checks the map and the weather, not just the direction the wind is blowing at this very second. Now, let us look at the fourth principle. Think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world. This is a powerful lesson in humility and perspective. In our selfie-obsessed culture, it's easy to get caught up in our own dramas, our own importance, our own ego. We spend so much time worrying about how we look, what people think of us, and how we're feeling. Musashi tells us to let that go. Think lightly of yourself means don't take your ego so seriously. Your worries, your pride, your fears, they are not the center of the universe. By de-emphasizing your own self-importance, you create space for something much bigger, understanding the world. Think deeply of the world is a call to be a student of life. Be curious. Observe people. Study nature. Learn new skills. Understand different perspectives. Shift your focus from me to the vast, complex, and fascinating world around you. When you do this, your personal problems shrink in comparison, and you gain a profound sense of connection and wisdom. Finally, we arrive at the fifth principle for today. Be detached from desire your whole life long. This one often gets misunderstood. It's not about becoming a robot with no wants or ambitions. Musashi himself was incredibly ambitious. He dedicated his life to mastering the way of the sword. So, what does he mean? Detachment from desire means not being a slave to your outcomes. It's about separating your happiness and self-worth from whether or not you achieve a specific goal. Pour your heart and soul into your work. Strive for excellence, but release your obsessive attachment to the result. Why? Because attachment to outcomes creates fear of failure, fear of not getting what you want. This fear clouds your judgment and paralyzes your actions. By being detached, you can act with freedom, focus, and a clear mind. You do your best for the sake of the craft itself, not for the prize at the end. The success, if it comes, is a bonus, not the source of your inner peace. So, let's recap the first 5 principles from Musashi's Dokodo. Accept everything as it is. Do not seek pleasure for its own sake. Do not depend on a partial feeling. Think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world. And be detached from desire. These aren't just ancient proverbs. They are practical tools for modern life. They are a roadmap to building unshakable self-discipline, mental clarity, and a profound sense of purpose. It starts with acceptance and builds from there, guiding you away from a life of reactive chaos and towards a life of deliberate, powerful action. Take some time this week to reflect on just one of these. Maybe start with acceptance. Notice when you resisting reality and see if you can just let go and focus on your next move. The path of the self-reliant warrior is a lifelong journey, and we've just taken the first few steps together. I hope this has given you something valuable to think about. In our next video, we'll continue our journey and explore the next set of principles from the Dokodo. There's so much more wisdom to uncover. If you found this helpful, I'd really appreciate it if you'd hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss part 2. Let me know in the comments which of these 5 principles resonates with you the most right now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.